midway upon the journey of my life, I found myself within a forest dark, for the straightforward pathway had been lost. Ah me, how hard a thing it is to say, what was this forest, savage, rough, and yet in the very thought renews the fear. So bitter is it, death is little now, but of the good to treat, which there I found. Speak will I of the other thing there is none. I cannot, other I entered. So full was I of slumber at the moment in which I had abandoned the true way. Day was departing, and the embrowned air released the animals that are on earth from their fatigues, and I, the only one, made myself ready to sustain the war, both as a way, and likewise as a way, which memory that dares not shall retrace. O muses, O high genius, now assist me, O memory, that didst write down what I saw. Here thy nobility shall be manifest. Thy soul attainted is with cowardice, which many times a man encumbers so, it turns him back from honoured enterprise, as false sight doth the beast when he is that thou mayst free thee from this apprehension. I'll tell thee why I came, and what I heard at the first moment when I grieved for thee. Among those was I who are in suspense, and a fair sentinel did call to me. In such wise I besought her to command me. Her eyes were shining brighter than the star, and she began to say, gentle and low, with a voice angelical, in her own language. Through me the way is to the city gallant. Through me the way is to eternal goal. Through me the way among the people lost. Justice incited my sublime, the highest wisdom and the primal love. Before me there were no created things, only eternal, and I eternal last. All hope abandoned, ye were to love. These words in sombre colour I beheld written upon the summit of a gate, whence I, their sense is, Master, how, and he to me, as one experienced. And after he had laid his hand on mine, with joyful mien, whence I was comforted, he led me in among the secret things. There, sighs, complaints, and ululations loud resounded through the air without a star, whence I, at the beginning, leapt thereat. Languages diverse, horrible dialects, accents of anger, words of agony, and voices high and hoarse with sound of hands, made up a tumult that goes whirling on, forever in that air, forever black, even as the sand doth when the whirlwind breathes. Broke the deep lethargy within my head, a heavy thunder, so that I upstarted, like to a person who by force is wakened. And round about I moved my rested eyes, uprisen erect, and steadfastly I gazed, to recognize the place wherein I was. True is it, that upon the verge I found me, of the abysmal valley dolorous, it gathers thunder of infinite ululations. Obscure, profound it was, and nebulous, so that by fixing on its depths my sight, nothing whatever I discerned therein. Faces none, but only sighs, that tremble melt the everlasting air. And thus are those who sorrow, without torment, which the clouds have, that many were and great, of infants, and of women, and of men.